Hey, what's going on, guys? Too Shiny here. Welcome back to the channel. I honestly I'm sorry. I apologize for taking so long to upload. I swear I have so much stuff going on off screen, but I had to get back on that grind, you know what I mean? I had to get back on here and talk about this Final Fantasy 16 a little bit. But in the relevancy of Final Fantasy 16 being in existence now, I think it's now time for us to bring back Final Fantasy 15. Let's talk a little bit about Final Fantasy 15. Honestly, when I heard that they were going to be doing the Final Fantasy 16 project this early, I was surprised, but not surprised, because the reason why I wasn't surprised is because Square Enix, they always work on, or at least they always show their new mainline FF game on the new hardware that comes out during each generation. So I'm not surprised that they ended up showing it, but I'm just surprised that they showed it despite of the remake being developed right now. As you guys know, the remake is not finished production. They still have like several parts to make in the future to release those parts to end up finishing the Final Fantasy 7 story arc. But now, I mean, they're letting us know that, hey, look, Final Fantasy 16 it's a thing now. So you guys can actually be not just waiting for the remake. You can also expect the Final Fantasy 16 project to be underway as we finish the remake. But the most concerning thing about it is, I mean, you guys all know about Final Fantasy 15's long development process and how long it took to get the entire game out there for us to play. I mean, went through so many different hands, so many different developers, so many different directors, so many things that happened during the time of developing Final Fantasy 15 that it literally ticked people off. Honestly, I hope Final Fantasy 16 will do a better job in terms of being more prompt with its release times, because we know what Square does. We know they always announce something way ahead of time, and then we end up waiting years upon years upon years upon years to finally get to be able to play the game. That's what they did with Final Fantasy 15. That's what they did with Kingdom Hearts 3. That's what they did with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I mean, it's just, this is how they do things for some reason, and they just take their precious time developing these games, especially Nomura. But we know the Final Fantasy 14's developer, I think his name is Yoshida. Yeah, he's the one developing Final Fantasy 16. I'm not sure how he does with development times or anything like that, so I can't sit here and tell you, give you a personal perspective regarding his involvement with games. But I heard a lot of good stuff about him. I heard a lot of good stuff about him, considering that he was able to resurrect that train wreck of a game, Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. I remember when it first came out, it was such a meme. But he was somehow able to resurrect it and bring it back during the Shadowbringers time that was going on. So I'm really excited about what they're going to do with Final Fantasy 16. We'll have to see. We have no release date, so don't be expecting a release date anytime soon. Honestly, I wouldn't even talk about Final Fantasy 16 until the remake part 2 came out already. Honestly, like, it's gonna take a while. Even though it's a different team, a different sector in Square Enix, it's still gonna take a while. I mean, this game is not coming out in the next, at least, it's not coming out in the next 3 years at least. We should expect this in like 2025, 2024, maybe. I mean, we'll have to see. But honestly, I want to talk about Final Fantasy 15 a little bit. Do you guys think that Final Fantasy 16 will actually be better than Final Fantasy 15? Now, for me, that's an easy answer. Just off the announcement trailer alone, it just looked way more immersive. The controls look a lot better. Final Fantasy 15 was the most simplistic, narrow-minded, I don't even know the words for it. It was horrifying playing Final Fantasy 15. You could not truly control what you were doing in the game. I mean, you couldn't really control what you were doing. So many times, if you tried to use the great sword, you get stuck in an animation after he swung the sword, and then you try to dodge somebody trying to hit you after he swung the sword, and you can't dodge out of the way of it. That happens so many times because I'll get stuck in animations. That game is very animation based, and you can get stuck real easy. Not only that, I mean, the fact that you sit there and hold circle the whole time while attacking is another reason why I couldn't stand the game's combat. So straight off the gate, I think Final Fantasy 16 is going to have a way better combat system than Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15, in my opinion, was the worst Final Fantasy I've ever played in a long time. Honestly, I probably would have enjoyed the CD of Final Fantasy NT more than this game. And y'all know how I feel about that game. NT is, yeah, we're not even gonna go there. But hey, man, you're entitled to your own opinion. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from when I say this. I know there's a lot of people that are out there that think Final Fantasy 15 is like the second coming of Michael Jordan or something. Like, I don't know. Final Fantasy 15 was very mediocre, guys. Like, it was not what it was supposed to be. And I already broke down, like, you know, all the character arcs and all those kinds of things on different videos, like more controversial things concerning Versus 13 on my other. You can go check it out. I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to see that video. Forgive me if I don't do it, but I endeavor to put the link down so that you can quickly get to it. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section down below, how do you feel about Final Fantasy 16? Do you think it's better than Final Fantasy 15? Do you think Final Fantasy 15 is better than Final Fantasy 16? I mean, what is your opinion down below? Just let me know. I want to see what you guys think. I don't want to just be talking over other opinions and things like that, because I really appreciate y'all's input, and I can like have a conversation, a constructive conversation on whether you think Final Fantasy 16 will be better than Final Fantasy 15. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit the bell for notifications. Also, make sure you remember that God loves you, Jesus Christ loves you, He died on the cross for you. And that's it, guys. God bless.